Islam, 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 peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Salam. I want to welcome y'all to an edition of the Moorish Broadcasting Network. That's Moorish Broadcasting Network. I am Raymond Wimpy L, Noble Ray Wimpy L on Facebook, Ray WL on Google, Hangouts, Gmail, and I know it's been a minute since I've done a broadcast, and sometimes life catch up with you, and you have to do certain things, and personal life can be crazy, but I'm glad that I'm starting this back up again because I've been talking to a few people here and there who's been telling me that I need to start really holding some type of class on the subject of nationality and birthright. So this is just one part of that class. I want to thank anybody and everybody that's actually tuning in right now because I'm doing this for you, not for self, but for you, and mainly those who do not know what nationality and birthright is, but are eager and looking to actually know and learn. Um, First and foremost, I want to say the Moorish American prayer to give honors and respect to the Creator for allowing us to breathe another day, be here, be amongst each other. And then I will be also reading the letter to be proclaimed at every meeting in honors and respect to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who without him, we wouldn't have knowledge of who we are today and definitely wouldn't have knowledge of who our ancestors were, pardon me, primarily here in what is known as North America, anciently known as Morocco, Northwest Amexon, Maghreb, Al-Aqsa, Northwest Africa, North America, the North Gate. So first and foremost, we got to get the prayer out, and we want to go with 2 on the right, 5 on the left. These represent the 7, circle 7. The circle 7s are the circles, are the chakras, the 7 pools of energy that align the spine and illuminate and give one the true inner and understanding and overstanding of real illumination, the real Illuminati. Activating the pineal gland, the hypothalamus gland, the pituitary gland, the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra. So let's go ahead and get started. And we actually face the east. So I want to face the east. This is east for me. Whatever east for you, you face that. And it's Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Islam. And basically that's it. Nothing fancy, nothing off the chain, nothing crazy. And what I want to do is correct the people's mindset when we speak of Allah. We're not talking about no mystery spook in the sky somewhere. We're basically talking about the arm, leg, arm, head that makes up you, me, and everyone else on this planet. Because collectively we are the Allah. And that's where Allah comes from. It's an acronym for Allah. Meaning once you get here, you are length, angle, and width, which makes you law. You know what I mean? And you govern self, which makes you a government amongst yourself, which also makes you law because not only are you a government amongst yourself, you are a nation that is a government as well. So let's get to the letter to be read at every meeting because this is something that the prophet said should always be in effect and take effect at every meeting. And right now, what we're having is what is considered a meeting of the minds. So, though we're not physically around each other or physically in each other's presence, we are still meeting on a um, energy frequency level. And really, that is what a meeting is anyway. Even if we're meeting in a physical form, that's still energy transferring from one state to the next. So let's get to that. And it states Moorish Science Temple of America, Home Office, 3603 Indiana Avenue, Noble Drew Ali, founder, Chicago, Illinois, January 18th, 1929. To be proclaimed in every meeting. Dear brother, and when I'm saying brother, I mean sister too, Islam. I'm glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement, now by the same people of our side of the nation that claim it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as an American citizen, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that contribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that pay their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance and I need it bad. Never before have I needed finance as badly as I do at present, that I may shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without me, the prophet, being the head. It has been proven by my work in which I have performed in the last few months because I was at the governor's inauguration to represent the Moorish Divine and National Movement and will be at the inauguration of President Hoover for the same cause. So what we must do and what we must understand is that when it comes to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, he put in the work to make sure we knew who we were on this side of the Atlantic, because that's where the confusion is coming in at our or with our people. We don't know who we are, and I'm not saying all of us because that's not the case, because I wouldn't be here doing this if I didn't know who I was. But many of us don't have a clue on who we are for the simple fact we have been misnomered or misnamed so many different things that we don't know which one to actually cling on to. Or when we hear the truth, we don't know if it's truth or not because we've been lied to so much by so many people, and mainly our own people. And what's sad is that as many of our people that we consider to be leaders amongst us, those who have the knowledge, those who have been taught the knowledge, but yet and still is keeping the common people in the dark because now that you know, you don't rely on them anymore, or you don't need them anymore, and they must have you in what is called a submissive mindset to always be submissive to them. I'm talking about your Jesse Jacksons. I'm talking about your Al Sharptons. I'm talking about even your Minister Farrakhan, who knows and lately been putting it out there here and there about your nationality, but not full fledged coming out telling you the truth. Who's been knowing for what, maybe 50, 60 years now? How old is the man? About 80 something years old? Um, about um, in his 80s. And just now saying something. Um, we have fallen so far off from understanding that we don't recognize symbolism when we see it nor hear it. We have not elevated ourselves to that height of when we see movies or when we see television shows or when we hear music or when we hear speeches, we don't recognize what's being said to us underneath the glitz, the glam, and the imagery and all that, because we have fell so far behind in our understanding. Because instead of us being us, we're choosing to be something other than, and following an understanding that is not meant for us. So we can get um, Barack Obama on national TV speaking of the Treaty of Tripoli that goes with the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. But since we don't know about the Treaty of Tripoli or the Treaty of Peace and Friendship on a collective, I'm not saying all of us because many of us do know, but on a collective body, we don't know that. That flies over our head. When he stated that the Constitution of the United States of America is not founded on the Christian religion, but founded on the religion of the Muslim. We don't know Muslim means Muslim, and Muslim means Moors. Because these are things that we were not taught in the home. We can't expect a system that set itself up to not teach us who we are, to teach us who we are. That's like going to your kidnapper and thinking that that person's going to free you. No, that's not the case. They kidnapped you for a reason, to hold you until someone else comes and give what they demand for your release, for your freedom. So we can't keep looking at the school systems and thinking, why are they not teaching? They didn't set themselves up to teach this knowledge like that. Because not only will it free you, it will free the minds of those that you, as melanated people, have placed into an oppressor status. And I'm speaking of the so-called white man or white woman, when these are statuses in law. Let's make a correction real quick. Black and white are statuses in law, has nothing to do with skin tone. Nothing at all. I'm not a black man. Look at me, look at my skin. I'm copper tone. One of the various copper tone people found here in the Americas. In America, which is a continent and not a country. And like I was saying previously, our concepts are wrong, so therefore when we hear information, we don't compute it the way it's supposed to be computed. So I want to get to the topic of this class here. And the topic is what to do in the face of ignorance once you have received the light. I want to repeat that. what to do in the face of ignorance once you receive the light. Excuse me. Now, you may be wondering what I mean by that. Well, let's go in. Once you have received the light has sparked within you, and you're being able to navigate and collect this information in its proper context. You understand the mission from that point on is to make sure that others get this as well, because it's not meant to just be with you. Information is neutral, it doesn't belong to anyone. It is to be applied once gathered. And how you apply information is one, by spreading information, and two, by utilizing the information that you have come into the understanding of, and implemented it in your everyday existence, whether you're using it to correct your status, correct your name, using it to gain employment, using it to gain better health. This is how you take that information and implement it and use it to correct your environment. Because one of the things we have to understand about knowledge is for self. When you gain it, you may spread it to others, but the gaining of knowledge is actually to improve self, not others. Your job with others is to give them the knowledge so they can improve themselves. So once you have that light within you, and you're doing your due diligence to make sure others get it, and you're running into walls of resistance, or those who remain or choose to remain ignorant of the fact, you have to allow them to remain ignorant. The spark is in them. Don't think that they have not been sparked. They've been sparked. Anything that you partake in life through these optical lenses resonates with the brain. Whether you want to see it or not, whether you want to accept it or not, it's part of you regardless. We are data collectors. Every moment we're awake, and even when we're asleep, we're collecting data every moment. So what you have to understand is that though everyone has the light, not everyone is meant to illuminate. And I know it's hard, because this is about saving lives. This information is about saving lives. And for the most part, the lives that you're going to be trying to save is those that are close to you. Family, friends, so on, loved ones. And it becomes discouraging when you are dispensing this information, knowing how important it is, and that you always run into that one, maybe more than one, who express to you that they not own it, they don't care, they don't worry about it. What you do is you no longer give them any of the information anymore, because you have given them enough. Now what must take place is they must themselves go seek it out now, and really truthfully, once you dispense this information to people and you give them the avenues to actually go and research this information for themselves, because it's not all about talking to someone and keep telling them over and over again, here, look this up, here, go read this, here, go read that, here, go check this out. Once you give them the basis, boom, it's supposed to spark within themselves to go search and reach out and go look things up and find things that you may not even know that they can share with you, because it's supposed to be a back and forth thing. And when you run into that resistance, you don't keep forcing or pounding. There's nothing wrong with going around. It's like when you're in when you're traveling and you may have a car in front of you, and they're not going the speed you need them to go, so you can get to where you need to go, and there's an open lane. Go to the next lane, pull on off, keep going, boom, get to your destination. Don't get behind them or stay behind them and try to get them to go faster. That's how you crash, that's how you burn. You let it go. And it's going to be many things in this lifetime that you're going to have to let go, though you may not want to. Because the love is so deep. And this movement is about love. That's why the first principle of it is love. And the principles, the 5 principles: love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. That's the 5 principles. Love is the first principle, because once you get this information, once you are anointed, this is what the real anointment is. It's not someone coming up and pouring oil on your head and hitting you with a cross. No, anointment is being anointed with the knowledge. That's when the flame go off. That's when you're actually hit with the true, what they consider to be the Holy Ghost. Knowledge is the true Holy Ghost. Not some old mythological thing in the sky with a bird or a dove. That's nonsense. That's fairy tale. And we as adults need to be adults and stop linking or lingering on to fairy tale stuff. That's for children. Once you're an adult, you put away childish things. So you have to put yourself in a position where you do what is needed and no more than that. You can't go overboard, because when you go overboard, that becomes what's called resistance. You will start finding resistance. So you give what is needed. What I've been learning and been doing lately is, when people ask me questions, I do my best to answer them, but I try not to give up everything. I give them bits and pieces that makes them intrigued to learn more. And then when they're ready to learn more, that's when I give them the information they can go research for themselves. Because I think, and it's just my personal opinion about this, you have to see this stuff for yourself. It's almost like a movie, in a sense, where someone can go see a movie and come tell you about the movie. And they can try to put it in the best context they can, but they can't tell you the whole movie. Now, they're not going to tell you scene 1 to the last scene. They're not going to tell you the opening credits. They're not going to tell you what happens. Because, a lot of movies sometimes, especially when it's sequels, they have a little short bit in the movie that leads up to the next movie. So they're not going to tell you everything. They can't tell you everything because their memory is not going to allow them to give you everything of the movie, because the movies and scenes and things sometimes go so fast That's why you end up watching the movie again, and when you watch a movie again, you see it and be like, "Wow, I don't even remember that part. When did that part come about? Did they add a new part? What's going on?" Like, no, see, it's the same way with this information. As much as I could tell you, unless you research it yourself, you're not going to get the full picture. So, we as a people cannot be afraid to know. And that's what we're running into. We're running into people that are so terrified to know because knowing changes your perspective. And once your perspective is changed, what you perceive is changed, it changes your entire reality. It's just like someone who was a hardened person, hardened criminal. You could take a female that was like what people consider to be a hoe out here, and they come into some knowledge and information that changed their life, and now they're not that same person anymore, mentally as well as spiritually, and that would start to reflect physically. They change their dress, they change their speech, they change the way they do things from how they used to do them. Not saying that that past part of their life is still not with them, because you are who you are from day one till you leave here. There's no getting rid of stuff. That was just your stepping stone to your next chapter in your book. So we must start to understand is that we can't be afraid. The world is too open now. There's not no more secrets. There's not no more hiding. You can't hide nothing no more. I don't care if you go into the darkest corner of life. Someone, some way, somehow is going to reveal something about you that you may not be comfortable with, that you may not like. But that's the times we're in. So we must, as a people, start to take this information seriously, because people around the world is taking it seriously. They're not playing with this information. You have people that's in different parts of the world that are declaring their Moorish nationality, because it's your foremothers and forefathers who are the creators of civilizations. And we were the ones that put down the laws everywhere. And through laws came history. So world history is our history, which is actually Moorish history. So if we want to know the truth about something, we have to study ourselves. And we can't be afraid to study ourselves. We can't be afraid to accept who we are. And I know many don't want to, because they think they're giving up something. So if you gain knowledge, you're not giving up anything. You're actually gaining something. Now, one of the greatest misconceptions about being a Moor or Moorish nationality is that many of you out there think it's a religion. So you try to clump it in with Islam, or you try to clump it in with Christianity or Buddhism. No, it's not a religion. It's a nationality. It's no different from being Chinese. It's no different from being Russian. It's no different from being Iranian, Syrian, Ghanese, Nigerian. It's a nationality. And even many of those nationalities I spoke of are corporate nationalities. Those are Moors too. They're part of the Moorish Empire too. People from China is really Manchurian. That's their real nationality, Manchurian. People from Nigeria, Senegal, uh, Sudan, those are actually Moors. They known as Moors. So, one of the reasons why this Moor thing terrifies people, because it was the Moors who laid down the laws of the land. And these laws some are subjugated under. Not our people in a sense, but some other people that we have placed in a equal or superior um, understanding. And what I'm talking about is the so-called white man, who's really the black man, because black means pale. The etymology of the word means pale, but that's another story. But since they have gained a lot of material wealth and have forced so many issues upon our people that we have become a dead state people, and now have allowed ourselves to become subservient to our servants. And I'm not making this up. This is nothing that I'm just saying that comes from nowhere. Let's correct that. This is real talk. They were our servants. At one point, our slaves. We enslaved them. But that's another story. But you can do your research on that and you can learn that. But it's not about them, because they're coming into the understanding that they know who we are. Many of them been taught who we are. Many of them have no choice but to accept who we are. You're going to have some resistance here and there, because that's life. Some people don't like to give up what they once knew, once they once had, because that's all they knew. That's all they had. They didn't have nothing else. So once they are in a forced position to have to get that up, they're going to fight. It's going to be some resistance. I'm not saying it's not. You got to understand, when you've been in what is called control for so long, and now that control is being taken away from you, that control was your identity. And now you feel like your identity is being taken away from you. Who you are is being taken away from you. So our true fight is not with them. Our true fight is amongst ourselves, and mainly with self. And self is a reflection of someone else. Don't think that because that person's this and that person's that, that you don't correlate. Get out of here. All is one. We need to get out of the separation game thinking that you're different from someone else. No. What gives you a more distinctive individuality is, one, your soul. That's the individual part of you. Though it's part of the collective, it's your individual imprint on the universe. And secondly, your choice. Don't think that you couldn't have made certain choices that could have landed you in prison, that could have gotten you killed, that could have turned you out here. Especially when you're young and very impressionable at certain points in your life. I've seen some of the top dogs turn into crackheads. I've seen people that I grew up in school with that had everything come up and be crackheads later on in life. Get what I'm saying? Homeless, bums. I've seen some of the baddest chicks that wouldn't give you a moment in time become whores on these streets. And now will do anything and everything to be next to you. So don't think that you are not subject to life. Everyone is subject to this thing out here. Everyone is going to feel life. No one can escape it. I don't care how much money someone got. I don't care all the riches they got. They still take a shit. And they shit stink just like anybody else is out here. So I don't place no one above me because this person got that or this person got this. No. You were fortunate to have some avenues open up for yourself, and boom, you took advantage of it. And you may have done some things that you're not proud of doing to gain what you gain. Because everybody that's out here rich didn't work hard for it. Some people are in back rooms right now doing some stuff they don't want to do, but doing it anyway because they want to live a certain lifestyle. So they're selling themselves to be on top, to have. I'm cool with that. I'm good. I don't need that. I'm not selling myself for nothing in the world. I'm not meant to be somebody else and somebody else not meant to be me. And I get that. I'm cool with that. But at the same time, I know that we're a collective people. We all under the same umbrella. And in these understandings, there is nations of people. So I can have brothers and sisters clear across the world that have a different nationality than me, but we're still family because we come from the collective of one. And if we do our research, we will come to find out that our customs is really not that much different from one another. We may just do a little something different here and there, because everyone is calling on a higher power than themselves, or what they feel is higher than themselves, to get through this life. No matter what you want to call that higher power, you do you. Be you. If you don't want to be nothing else in the world, be yourself. And who yourself is, you have to come into the understanding of that. No one can tell you who you are. No one told me I was a Moor. In the sense that now I'm convinced I'm a Moor. They gave me the information that I'm a Moor, and then I had to research myself to see where that lined up at. And once I came into the real understanding that, oh, this is who my people were over here before that was taken away from them. Bow. That's when it went down. That's when the research got deeper. That's when I started going into congressional work records and looking up court cases dealing with the natural people of the land. That's when I started understanding the ancient names of the natural people of the land. That's when I started reaching out spiritually to those who had that information that can share with me to enhance my research. So the information is out there. What is hindering many of our people from this information is fear. They are scared of the European, terrified of them. But how can you be scared of your children? It's your children, that's your child. No parent is supposed to be terrified of their child. But many of us are, because we don't know these are children. Many of us think that they've been on earth longer than us. I understand that. Don't think that the knowledge I have now and I had 3 years ago, I had a year ago. Every day I'm learning knowledge. But every day I'm understanding that it's all Moorish science. So I don't have to go here and I don't have to go there and I don't have to run around to so many different places to understand things. I can go to that one-stop shop and get it all. And get everything I need. So once we hear, and I'm not talking about around the world, we have to get out of that mindset that we have to connect with people around the world at this moment. No, we need to connect with each other here first. Because that's where the true disconnect is at. If I speak to someone from Nigeria, they're going to say they're Nigerian. Wow, right then and there, they've already explained who they were nationally and their culture, just in that one word. So they're not lost. They know who they are. It's us over here who don't know who we are. Over there, they haven't been called Negro, Black, Colored, uh, Nigerian, African, um, African Nigerian, however you want to put it, as we've been called Negro, Black, Colored, Indian, Hispanic, Latino, you know what I'm saying? Afro American, African American. We have so many different brands that have been placed on us, and neither one of them truly describes who we are as a people. So, how do we reconnect ourselves to our ancestors here? We have to go back to what they were called, because they are still those people and we are still those people. We still have those titles, but it's amongst ourselves that we must regain those titles, because no one is going to give us those titles back. We have to take them back. And that's what a true revolutionary fight is at. That's why it's always stated that the revolutionary is not going to be televised. Everybody think it's going to be some type of crazy old war out here when we killing each other. That's not the case, because war never brought peace. At one point in time when the war ended, it had to end on a sit down and a negotiation. And negotiation is what brought the peace, or so-called peace. That's not the case. War never solved anything. What's got to happen is we have to have more love in our lives. Love for self, love for others, love for our nationality, who we are as a nation of people. Farrakhan said it. We are a nation. Noble Drew Ali brung that. That's the greatness of that brother. That he brung us back what was taken from us, or what we took from ourselves. Let's keep that correct. And I want to make this real clear. Moorish Science Temple of America is not a nationality. You don't have to go there to be a Moor. You were born one. You're already a Moor. And being a Moor is a self-proclaimed thing. No one can proclaim you anything that you don't proclaim yourself to be. So get out of the concept, get out of the nonsense of clubism, because Prophet Noble Drew Ali was a universal prophet. He only came to us Moors here in the North Gate because we needed him most. But he was universal. That's why he had a warning for the nations. Plural. Not warning for the nation. Not warning for the Moorish nation. Warning for the nations. Global. Get it? That's why we honor the brother. He's not a deity. We don't put him in the status of a deity. We don't deify the brother. He was a human being just like the rest of us. But we honor his effort into waking us up, because he said, Moors, you sleep too much. Can't you see the 7 bridges in the sky, crossing the sky? The 7 bridges was the illumination of the 7 chakras. Illuminate them chakras. Get to that love chakra. Then that throat chakra. Then that third eye, or first eye chakra. Then the crown chakra. Transcend through the lower self to the higher self. So now you can walk amongst the elite, which is your Moorish ancestors, which is you. We're Moors, people. Sorry, I know it's heart wrenching for many of us because we don't want to be nothing. We good with being nothing. Why not be something from now? Let's be something. Let's be collective. I would love to come in on a collective effort to do things with my people. But we can't do things in the brands that has allowed us to be oppressed. That's how it's allowed us to get shot out here dead in the street and nothing happens. And I have my incident and I want to speak about that. Yes. Memorial weekend, I was pulled over by the Lockland policy enforcers. And, going through the formalities they want to take, you through. I let them know that I had a nationality, first and foremost. Now, yeah, I was snatched out of the car and handcuffed and maced and thrown to the ground and all that. And I'm not saying that's going to happen to everyone. And I'm not saying everyone is going to be treated in a fair manner, or so you're going to run into people that have an understanding of what you're saying, because you're not. Sometimes you're going to run into that resistance, but it's how you stand up to that resistance. Do you buckle or do you stand on your square? Personally, I stood on my square. I could have done something different because they wanted me to get out of the motor conveyance. I didn't want to get out. I told them I didn't feel comfortable getting out, because in retrospect, you don't even need me to get out this vehicle or this motor conveyance. If I'm doing something that you consider to be unlawful, then you could write me a summons and I can go deal with the magistrate with the situation and leave it at that. So, yeah, you run into some, excuse the language, dickheads, assholes. But it's cool because, I didn't pay nothing to be released. There was no fiat notes given up, not one red penny given up to be released. So it was the universe way, it was Allah's way of saying, hey, you're about to go through this for your people. Because when they doing this to you, they doing this to your people. But you're about to be the one who suffered this moment. But don't think others hadn't suffered for you. And that's the way I looked at it. I didn't look at it like, oh, why are they doing this just to me? No. I understood that they doing this to me, but they're doing this to my people as well. Because I am my people. I am Mike Brown. I am Eric Gardner. You see what I'm saying? I am these people. And the fate that was bestowed upon them could have been bestowed upon me that night. But I wasn't relinquishing my square for nothing in the world. And when I get down to what is called the Hamilton County Justice Center here in the Corporation Cincinnati, I didn't sign for anything besides release papers. And my release papers state that I was just released from the Hamilton County Justice Center. It don't say nothing about you've been released on this bond, you've been released on that bond. Because the people, once they realized who they had in their possession, they couldn't do nothing but kick me out that place. They had to get rid of me because now they become part of what's called kidnapping, extortion, racketeering, and amongst a list of others. So they had to get me out of there. So yes, I'm breathing. I didn't spend no more than a little over 24 hours there. I got there Friday morning, late Friday morning, about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and was released 11:30 Saturday. And when you are released from that place, because I've been there in my past life, I've been out on bond, I've done signed bond papers, I've done that personally, so I know what it's like. It takes you at least 2 to 3 hours to be released. After someone's paid your bond, you don't get up out of there for about 2 or 3 hours. I know that personally. I was out of there less than 20 minutes. And the crazy thing is when I was released or being released, or when I was even called to come to the officer station desk and asked how am I being released, because I wanted to know, I was told flat out, verbatim. This is their words, verbatim. Verbatim mean word for word. You saying actually what they're saying. We don't know. All we were told was to come get you and get you out of here. That's what I was told. I asked again to the deputy who was taking me to be released. So was I released on bond? She said, I don't know about that. All I know is that I was told to come up here, get you, and release you. Now, when you're being released on bond, they tell you that. I don't care who you are. You could be the you don't watch many of Law and Orders. You don't watch many SUVs or SVU, whatever this is called. You don't watch all these lawyer shows, whatever. Anytime someone's being released, they will say you've been released on bond. Your lawyer paid your bond. Your family paid your bond. Someone paid your bond. No one paid anything for me to be released. Now, with the situation with Lachlan, things are going to proceed. Don't think for 1 minute that they're not going to get hit with the hammer. They are. But it's procedures to this. Procedures will be taken. They're going to feel the wrath because they know they messed up and they know it's coming at any moment. They just don't know when. But they know they messed up. So it is what it is with that situation. I'm breathing. I'm still here. I'm still a Moor. I didn't relinquish me being a Moor. When I got down to it, like I said, when I got down there to the Hamilton County Justice Center, I didn't sign no documentation. Whenever I was asked a question, I stood on national principles. I'm a Moorish American national. No, I don't have no social. No, I don't live here. I don't have an address. I domicile. People didn't even want me to use the phone because they didn't know who I was going to call. Matter of fact, they had me in the psych ward on suicide watch. Just because I kept saying I'm from Northwest of Maxim. Northwest Africa, North America, the North Gate, Al Morocco, Maghreb, Al Aqsa. They didn't know how to respond to that. But what they did is they did their due diligence. Because every time I kept saying I'm a Moorish American national, they kept delivering it to whoever was in charge of here or there. Oh, that dude is this. That dude is that. Oh, we got to get that dude up out of here. I don't want no parts of that. Matter of fact, when I went to the hearing the next morning, I had two $1,000 bonds. Two $1,000 bonds. I had three OR bonds, meaning on reconnaissance, meaning you're signing out on your own word. Okay. Now, let's keep it 100. The $1,000 bonds got dropped down to 10%, and then you have court costs. So in all, it's about like $275 to about $300 and some change. No one paid that. They didn't get not one fiat dollar. On my release papers, it doesn't speak of an OR bond, but I've been released on OR bond before. Doesn't say that on the release papers. Now, when I was being dressed out after I went through their little hearing or whatever, it shocked them because I wanted to represent myself. And when I did, all I did was state my nationality for the record, and who I am in law. That was it. My appellation. That's it. I didn't say nothing else. I didn't go in there trying to argue. I didn't say nothing else. Cool. Because the main thing I'm doing is building a paper trail. When you want to go against these people, you have to build up a paper trail to show the fraud. So, as I'm being dressed out into their stuff, one of the COs, we call them COs here, county officers, They were he was asking me could I sign for some stuff, and I told him, well, no, I can't sign for anything unless it's in red ink. So he said, why in red ink? I said, well, I'm a Moorish American national, and me signing in red ink shows I'm in full life absolute and not a corporate citizen, but a natural person in law. Not a corporate person in law, but a natural person in law. So he said, oh, okay. He said, well, I need to look that up. What you say again? Moorish American National? I said, yeah, Moorish American National. So he looked it up. So by that time, I'm dressed out in a little holding cell. I'm waiting to be taken to whatever pod, or holding facility they're going to take me to inside the place. So as I'm walking with another CO who's taking me where I'm supposed to be going, he says, my partner looked up what a Moorish American National is. I said, okay, that's good education. He said, so you're sovereign? I said, yes, but I said, I want to make a correction right here, right now. He said, okay, what? I said, I want to let you know that I'm sovereign because I have a nationality, and I'm not sovereign or a sovereign citizen. I said, a sovereign citizen is an oxymoron. I said, my nation that I am of is sovereign, which grants me sovereignty, a sovereignty. So he said, oh, okay, cool. He said, well, I just want you to know, and this is his words verbatim out of his mouth. I just want you to know that me and my partner ain't got nothing to do with nothing. We're just doing our jobs. I assured him that y'all okay. I have nothing, it is what it is. Y'all okay. But what he was letting me know is, look, you're not going to be here long. And I know that for a fact you're not going to be here long. And when you get up out of here, please don't hold nothing against me and my partner. We were just doing our jobs. Because his partner took the time to look up and educate himself on what a Moorish American national is, which our people need to do. Now, these are two Europeans, pale Europeans. I want to correct that because we as Moors, we are the original Europeans. We were in the land of Europe, or Europa first. Europa is a Moorish queen who that land is named after. So let's make that correction. We are the original Europeans. I'm talking about pale Europeans. Anybody I talk about on that level, Caucasian or whatever, will always be referred to as pale because the original people of these lands are us. So the pale Europeans. And one thing I respect and love about them is that they actually took the time to do the knowledge on what a Moorish American national is. It's crazy that our own people who are Moors won't do the knowledge on themselves. So the understanding of this is that though I can't convince you that you're a Moor, and you can't even convince yourself you're a Moor, it's going to come a time where these pale Europeans, who you call your oppressor and all that, that's superior over you and all that, they're going to convince you because they're going to put you in situations where you're going to be running to get your nationality. One thing I pray to the Almighty Creator, Allah, arm, leg, arm, head, mother, father, Creator, is that it's not too late for you. Because it may be. And what I want to do now is I want to end this broadcast. We're about an hour, and I'm trying not to go over an hour. I will be back next Sunday, and I'm going to make it my due diligence to make it every Sunday from this point on, around 6 p.m., to start delivering this understanding, this knowledge to our people, because we need to wake up fast. We need to really, really wake up. But I want to take this time to send out my condolences to the family of the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali, who's a Moor. Ali is Moorish. To the brother Kimbo Slice, who passed away, he's Moorish. That's a Moor. My condolences to any and everyone who has lost a loved one recently, and not too far off. Um, Also, I want to send a condolences to all those who were attacked and murdered down in Orlando, Florida. Um, and don't be tricked, people, by words that you hear. When they say Islam, Islam is actually I, self, law, and master, and doesn't mean anything past that. So when they're using certain words to try to declare that someone is using or someone is doing things in a certain act, that's CIA. That's covert. That has nothing to do with people who are into the faith truthfully and understand that that faith system, school of thought, is about spreading peace amongst the people and not war, not treachery, not being a terrorist. The true terrorists are those who are in power but keeping the people oppressed by hiding the knowledge or trying to keep the people from the knowledge. That's the true oppressor. Doesn't have to be someone in a government seat, government office. It could be your next door neighbor who got knowledge itself but don't want to share it with you. You get what I'm saying? So let's go spread love and not hate. And so let's close out with the Moorish American prayer. 5 on the left, 2 on the right, facing the east. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Islam, Salam, Hotep, Assalamu alaikum, Salam. One love, y'all. Spread it. Peace.